Hey everyone, and welcome back to the SCREENY. Ellen has been famous for nigh on 30 years now, and over that time, she has built a solid fan base. She is arguably one of the most successful female talk show hosts to have ever existed, and is still knocking it out of the park. Although she's a television staple, some of you may not realize that Ellen has done a whole lot of living prior to the launch of her show back in 2003. Like most famous people, the talk show host has had her fair share of controversy and scandal. Join us as we take a look at things you didn't know about Ellen DeGeneres. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe to our channel for more amazing videos about your favorite movies and TV shows. Breast joke lawsuit. Back in 2017, Ellen found herself in hot water after a joke she made came back to haunt her. As a part of her What's Wrong with These Signs segment, Ellen displayed an advertisement from a popular realtor named T.T. Pierce, and made some cracks about it, pronouncing it as Titty. Was it a pretty immature joke? Sure, but Pierce took offense to the mockery as her name is actually pronounced as TT. The Georgia-based businesswoman was so irked by the segment that she took Ellen to court, claiming that she was now subjected to constant ridicule thanks to the show. In her lawsuit, the 35-year-old told judges that the show not only poked fun at her, but showed her real phone number for the world to see, leading her to getting dozens of cruel phone calls a day. Unfortunately for Pierce, the judge threw the case out of court, explaining that the English language could have pronounced it either way, which wasn't Ellen's fault. Still, let's hope that Ellen offered her some sort of apology, because who wants to be mocked on national TV? It's not a good look. Her wife was dating someone else. Finding love in Hollywood can be pretty tricky, especially when the person you're interested in is dating someone else. From 2000 to 2004, Ellen was involved with actress and photographer Alexandra Hedison, while Portia de Rossi, Ellen's future wife, was also in a long-term relationship. According to Portia, she knew Ellen was the one from the moment she first saw her, but as she wasn't openly gay, was fearful of dating one of the most famous lesbians in the world. At that point in her life, Portia was concerned that coming out would hinder her career, something Ellen herself experienced when she came out, and her sitcom was then swiftly cancelled. When Portia finally did get the courage to make a move, she dumped her girlfriend of 4 years to be with Degeneres. It was a little harsh at the time, but neither one of them regret it in the long term. When California legalized same-sex marriage in 2008, Ellen proposed, and the couple tied the knot in 2011, surrounded by friends and family. The two have been going strong ever since. Ellen and Madonna are cousins. It seems like it can't possibly be true, but it's straight up facts. Madonna and Ellen are related, albeit distantly. They share the same 10th great-grandfather, Martin Aucoin, from France. Both Ellen and Madonna's family roots can be traced back to Nova Scotia, with Ellen's family later moving to Louisiana and Madonna's heading to Michigan. It's pretty crazy to think that these two share the same blood, but they do have a lot in common. They're both international superstars, both love to perform, have written books, and are often in the tabloids. Ellen has had Madge on the show a few times over the years, and they've always had great chemistry. Madge isn't Ellen's only famous cousin either. Reportedly, DeGeneres is the 15th cousin of Kate Middleton, aka the Duchess of Cambridge. How about that? We're just a little jealous that we can't nudge our way onto the family tree. She was raised a Christian Scientist. Up until age 13, Ellen was raised in a pretty religious household. Christian Science goes way beyond going to the church every Sunday and saying a prayer before you eat. These guys are so hardcore that they don't believe in seeing doctors or using medication. They leave the fate of an individual down to God, even if they're gravely ill and could be saved. If a person gets better naturally, then that's great, but if they don't, then that must be the will of God. Ellen later said that the first time that she ever took an aspirin was when she was a teenager. Along with her mother and brother, Ellen would attend church every week without fail and partake in other religious ceremonies like confession. These days, the star calls herself non-religious, but has said that she does believe in God in some form, but not in the Christian Science way, which she has openly criticized on numerous occasions. Can't say we blame her, really. And HECHE broke her heart. When Ellen came out as gay to the world at large in the 90s, it gained widespread media attention. It wasn't something that was as openly spoke about as it is today, and the talk show host has since been praised for helping break the taboo. Her first public relationship was with actress and director HECHE. The two were joined at the hip and often the subject of tabloid fodder. They wore matching wedding bands, wrote about their love for each other, and publicly stated a number of times that if same-sex marriage were to be legalized, they would tie the knot in a heartbeat. With all that being said, the split came as a huge shock, and there was a lot of speculation. After the announcement of their separation in 2000, HECHE moved on hella quick. In fact, less than a year later, she married Coleman LaFoon, a cameraman that she met on Ellen's stand-up comedy tour the following year. Looks pretty suspicious, doesn't it? It looks like HECHE has a habit of doing the dirty though, as she then left LaFoon for actor James Tupper after working with him. A leopard never changes its spots. She has a Disney ride named after her. And no, it has absolutely nothing to do with Finding Dory. The premise of this ride is pretty bizarre, but it's a popular attraction at Disney's Epcot. The 45-minute ride takes adventures on the journey through Ellen's subconscious mind, starting as Ellen falls asleep while watching Jeopardy! There's a whole bit about her dreaming that she's on the show with Bill Nye the Science Guy, and even some time-traveling, dinosaurs, and lots of educational, family-oriented segments to keep everyone happy. Is it as popular as Space Mountain or some of the other thrill-seeking rides? Probably not, but if you're an Ellen fan, then you won't be disappointed, especially if you like your attractions a little avant-garde. Family troubles. Ellen has spoken out about her childhood, and it wasn't all sunshine and roses. When she was a teenager, her mother developed breast cancer. Thankfully, her mom got better, but Ellen's stepfather seized the opportunity to take advantage of Ellen, and let's just say, he behaved incredibly inappropriately. So much so that he should have been arrested. Degeneres spoke about the incident in an interview with Allure magazine after her stepfather had passed away. While Ellen and her mom were close, Betty was shocked when her daughter came out as gay. It was touch and go at the time as she didn't know how to handle it. After some time had passed, Betty became her daughter's biggest supporter and is now an LGBTQ rights activist, the first straight spokeswoman for the National Coming Out Project, and an active member of parents, families, and friends of lesbians and gays. Way to go, Betty. The photo incident. Ellen isn't a stranger to controversy, but sometimes it hits her where it hurts. Earlier this year, the star took a trip to Rwanda and snapped some photos alongside local kids. When she uploaded them to her Instagram, fans and celebrities accused her of exploiting them. The trip was part of her 60th anniversary celebrations, as both she and Portia traveled to the country to start a wildlife conservation project. One Twitter user called her sick, while another said, "Africans don't travel to your country to take pictures with your 500,000 homeless people." It's not the first time that Ellen found herself in trouble for pics either. Back in 2016, she shared a photoshopped picture of herself riding Olympic medalist runner Usain Bolt with the caption, "This is how I'm running my errands from now on." The outcry was huge, with followers accusing the star of racism. In a public Twitter response, she defended the post, stating that racism was the furthest thing from who she was as a person. She used to sell vacuums. Like many stars, Ellen didn't always work in the industry. In fact, she had some pretty interesting jobs before her comedy took off. When she dropped out of college at 23, she waited tables at a local restaurant, worked as a bartender, and even shucked oysters. When that didn't work out, Ellen tried her hand at painting houses and even tried to make a career out of being a legal secretary. Hardly as glamorous as you might think, is it? Ellen offered up another glimpse into her past when she had the singer Willie Nelson Nelson on the show. The two had a rather odd thing in common. Back in their pre-fame days, they both sold vacuums. Nelson used to go door to door selling Kirby machines to customers, while Ellen used to demonstrate Hoovers in front of customers at a store. They both agreed that the job sucked. Do you see what we did there? Luckily for both Willie and Ellen, greater things were waiting for them just around the corner. Don't give up, kids. Thank you very much for watching today's video. Make sure to subscribe to our channel for more amazing content, and don't forget to check out one of the other two videos on your screen.